Hi, church family. You're wrong and I'm right. Let's use this devotional to talk about grace. Now, if you say something to someone and they look at you and say, you're wrong and I'm right, what does that mean? That means that conversation is effectively over. That person is telling you that you got nothing to say they want to hear because they know better, and you're completely wasting their time. It is a conversation ender, or it is the beginning of a ridiculously stupid, meaningless argument that goes nowhere. And as Christians, we should know better than that, because God tells us it's through our love that we show people we're Christians. And that is the exact opposite of that, isn't it? So I found very quickly, I found 100 verses about grace in the Bible. So let me read them off to you. It's going to take a little while. I'm kidding. I'm not going to read all of them to you. But I will read you, let's say, 3. Colossians 4:6 says, "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person." Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So why would you want to tear a discouraged person down? Why would you want to take a person who's depressed and make them feel worse? That borders on evil. And fortunately, I don't see that here at church, but a lot of people don't understand it. And when we walk outside of here, we run into a lot of people who are not as right-minded as we think. And even here, I've had some run-ins with folks. Sometimes it's been my fault, sometimes it's been their fault. But what we did here, instead of letting it go, is we came together, either right then, shortly afterwards, and occasionally the next day over some coffee or something, and we talked it out, we worked it out, we made amends, and that's grace, and that's how it's done if you're a Christian and you're led by the Holy Spirit. Luke 6:36 says, "Be merciful even as your Father is merciful." Sometimes I'm getting a little older and I have problems figuring out how to get multiple things to come together to make something work right. And I was at church one day in complete confusion over one of these things, and somebody asked me a question and I gave him a pretty snappy answer. I immediately stopped what I was doing because I knew that my priority was messed up. And I apologized and I said, I was distracted and I didn't mean to snap at you. Please forgive me. And I talked to that person for a couple minutes and got everything straightened out. And then I guess God pretty much rewarded me, because I came back to the issue I was trying to figure out, and it became quite clear to my mind. But that's God. That is God. He pays us back. He wants us to show people love. He says that that's how people know we're Christians, by our love, not by our anger, not by our obstinance, not by us knowing it all. We need to show people we care. The Our Father itself talks about showing grace. It pretty much says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Let's play with that a little bit. Forgive me my issues as I forgive other people their issues. Forgive me my sins as I forgive other people their sins. Forgive me my unreasonableness as I forgive other people their unreasonableness. And I could go on and on and on. The point is, how many people say that prayer and don't even understand what they're saying? We're asking God to treat us exactly like we treat others. Think about that. So, James 2:13 says, "For judgment is without mercy to one who has shown no mercy." Mercy triumphs over judgment. Sometimes we know that being giving, forgiving, not making it so important that we have to win. What we want is we need to love each other, not have a contest to see who could be who. That's not why we're here at all, is it? So keep these things in mind. Think about it, and have the conversations the way the Lord intended. Love you, church.